Good morning, children. Sai Ram. Children, I'm sure you must have enjoyed your vacations. And I really hope that you have done your assignments that were given to you. Now, children, through this video, we are going to learn about History, Chapter 3, that is, the Delhi Sultan. Majorly, this chapter discusses about those rulers who ruled Delhi, who made Delhi as their capital, and who built their cities within Delhi. So basically, in this chapter, we are going to learn about the rulers who took Delhi as their capital and who also built cities within it. Students, I'm sure you all must be watching Mahabharata on Doordarshan in this lockdown period. You must have heard about Pandavas in it. Children, Indraprastha was the capital of Pandavas, and it is considered that the place which we named Delhi used to be Indraprastha in those times. Now, children, in the previous chapter, that is chapter number 2, we saw that regions like Kaveri Delta became the center of a large kingdoms. But children, did you notice that there was no mention of Delhi as its capital? This was because Delhi became an important city only after the 12th century. Apart from that, the dynasties that ruled over Delhi were Rajput dynasty. The first one or the first dynasty was Tomara dynasties of the Rajputs, and then came the Chauhans. Now children, Delhi became an important city only in the 12th century. It became the capital city of a kingdom for the first time under the Tomara Rajputs. Tomara Rajputs got defeated by Chauhans, also known as Chahamanas of Ajmer, in mid 12th century. Delhi became an important commercial center under the Tomaras and Chauhans. Many rich Jain merchants lived in Delhi and also constructed number of temples there. Coins known as Delhiwal were minted here and had a wide circulation. So as I said, the Islamic invasions of 12th and 13th century made way for the rule of Afghans and Turks in the northern part of India, with Delhi as the capital. Till that time, Delhi was not considered a very important city. The Rajputs were the first to establish the capital in Delhi and gained prominence as a commercial capital. After defeating Prithviraj Chauhan, Muhammad Ghori advanced towards Delhi, and with this began the Muslim rule in India, and also the prudence of making Delhi their capital. Now let us look one by one on the table which is given in your textbook. But before that, I would like to show you the map that is given on page number 30 of your history textbook. So children, as you can see, this is the map of selected Sultanate cities of Delhi in 13th and 14th century. Children, let us take a look at table 1 of page number 31 of a history textbook. This table consists of the rulers of Delhi. As discussed earlier, the first one to make Delhi as their capital was the Rajput dynasties. The Tomaras of the Rajput dynasties ruled in early 12th century, that is 1165. Anangapala ruled from 1130 to 1145. The Chauhans ruled from 1165 to 1192. Prithviraj Chauhan was the one of the ruler who ruled from 1175 to 1192. After the Rajput dynasties followed the Turkish rulers. The early Turkish rulers ruled from 1206 to 1290. The first one to rule was Qutbuddin Aibak. He ruled from 1206 to 1210. He was followed by Shamsuddin Iltutmish, who ruled from 1210 to 1236. Razia ruled from 1236 to 1240, and she was followed by Ghiyazuddin Balban, who ruled from 1266 to 1287. Now children, you can see Iltutmish's tomb over here on the right hand side. After the Turkish rulers, Khalji dynasties came into existence and they ruled from 1290 to 1320. Jalaluddin Khalji was one such ruler who ruled from 1290 to 1296, followed by Alauddin Khalji, who ruled from 1296 to 1316. Children, can you see the picture on the left hand side which is greenish in color? This is Alai Darwaza. This was built during the Khalji dynasty. Now, as I said, Tughlaq dynasty followed the Khaljis and they ruled from 1320 to 1414. Ghiyazuddin Tughlaq ruled from 1320 to 1324. Muhammad Tughlaq ruled from 1324 to 1351 and Firuz Shah Tughlaq ruled from 1351 to 1388. Then came the Sayyid dynasty. They ruled from 1414 to 1451. Khizr Khan ruled from 1414 to 1421. And then Lodi dynasty 1451 to 1526. Balul Lodi ruled from 1451 to 1489. Finding out about Delhi Sultans. Now, inscriptions, coins and architecture provided a lot of information, but specially significant are histories, tarikhs and tawarikhs. Tarikhs is used for singular and tawarikh is used for plural. Now, they were mostly written in Persian language, the language which was used for administration under the Delhi Sultans. The authors of Tawarikh were learned men, secretaries, administrators, poets and courtiers who both recounted events and advised rulers on governance, emphasizing the importance of rules. The authors of Tawarikh lived in cities, mainly in Delhi and hardly in rural areas. They often wrote their history for sultans in the hope of getting rewards. They advised the rulers to maintain an ideal social order based on birthrights and gender discrimination. Their ideas were kept secret. Now, children, when we talk about birthright, I mean privileges claimed on account of birth. Now, for example, people that time believed that nobles inherited their rights to govern because they were born in certain families. When I talk about gender distinction, I mean social and biological differences between women and men. Usually, these differences are used to argue that men are superior than women. So, the next that we are going to talk about here is of Razia Sultan. In 1236, Sultan Iltutmish's daughter Razia became Sultan. Her rule was of very short time and was full of problems. The nobles opposed her because they hated taking order from a woman. They did not like Razia for taking decisions without consulting them. They plotted and deposed her in 1240. Soon afterwards, she died. The chronicler of the age, Minhaj-e-Siraj, recognized that she was more able and qualified than all her brothers. But he was not comfortable at having a queen as ruler, nor were the nobles happy at her attempts to rule independently. She was removed from the throne in 1240. So now let us understand what Minhaj-e-Siraj thought about Razia. Minhaj-e-Siraj thought that the queen's rule went against the ideal social order created by God, in which women were supposed to be subordinate to men. He therefore asked in the register of God's creation, since her account did not fall under the column of men, how did she gain from all of her excellent qualities? On her inscriptions and coins, Razia mentioned that she was the daughter of Sultan Iltutmish. This was in contrast to Queen Rudrama Devi, who ruled from 1262 to 1289 of the Kakatiya dynasty of Warangal, which is the part of modern Andhra Pradesh. Rudrama Devi changed her name on her inscriptions and pretended that she was a man. Another queen, Didda, ruled in Kashmir from 980 to 1003. Her title is interesting. It comes Didi or elder sister, an obviously affectionate term given to the loved ruler by her subjects. Now, children, let us take a small recap of whatever we have done till now. Children, we started off with the third chapter of history, that is the Delhi Sultans. We saw that Delhi first became the capital of a kingdom under Tomara Rajputs. These Tomara Rajputs were defeated in the middle of the 12th century by Chauhans, who were also known as the Chahamanas of Ajmer. It was under Tomar's and Tomaras and the Chauhans that Delhi became an important commercial center. We also saw that the coins minted there were called Delhiwal and they had a wide circulation. The transformation of Delhi into a capital that controlled vast area of the subcontinent started with the foundation of Delhi Sultanate in the beginning of the 13th century. Then we also understood about the different rulers of Delhi. We read about the various dynasties that ruled Delhi. The first were the Rajput, followed by the early Turkish rulers, then came the Khalji dynasty, the Tughlaqs, the Sayyid dynasty and the Lodha dynasty. After that, we learnt about finding out about the Delhi Sultans. Inscriptions, coins and architecture provided a lot of information. Especially valuables were the histories that Tariq, which is the singular, and Tawarik written in Persian, the language of administration under the Delhi Sultans. The authors of Tawarik were learned men and they emphasize the importance of just rules, keeping the following additional details in mind. The first one was the author of Tawarik lived in cities and hardly ever in villages, and they wrote their histories for Sultan in hope of the rewards. The authors advised rulers on the need to preserve an ideal social order based on the birthright and gender distinction. Then we also learnt about the rule of Iltutmish's daughter, that is Razia Sultan, and we saw how the nobles were not happy to work under her and take orders from her. Now with this I end the first part of this chapter. In the next part we will continue with the further chapter. Till then, you are expected to complete the assignments as always. Goodbye and stay safe.